Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today we are getting into the patch updates for the day, and it does look like there is some pretty cool stuff here with what looks like, I think, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth costumes actually dropping today. I haven't seen too much of it. I just peeked at the notices, so I'm curious to see. I'm really hoping that it's not going to be limited, so fingers crossed on that. And just want to say congratulations to everyone on the last Guild War. This one was definitely an interesting one with the change up on the first day. I'm still not really super keen on that change for the first 5 stages, but it is what it is, and it turned out to be a really fun war. Alright guys, so that being said, let's see what we got going on today. Alright, so let's go down, June 25th. Okay, Final Fantasy VII EC Summer Campaign on now, so we're officially here in summer. I can't believe it's like 4 days away from July. It's pretty crazy, guys. Alright, let's see here. So Final Fantasy VII EC Summer Daily Free Draw up to 350 draws, so that's like 35 days straight of daily free draws. So, I mean, at this point, I feel like we basically have free 10 draws every day forever. I can't remember the last time we haven't had a daily free draw, like logging into the game, which I think is awesome. Like, in terms of like free-to-play players, I think for the most part, Ever Crisis is considerably generous, and I think that that's very refreshing in mobile games. Alright, so here we go. All characters gain 2,000% more experience during the period, plus 3,000% more player experience for players level 20 and below. So basically, if you're level 1 and you do a single battle, you're basically going to hit like level 30 or something, which is pretty cool. Alright, so let's keep going down. Log in to get up to Blue Crystal times 3,000. Alright, sweet. Definitely going to be needing those for all the crazy stuff coming up. We got Dragon Quest in August. We have the 2-year anniversary in September. And hopefully Cloud gets like the most badass ultimate weapon. And it comes in the form of Ultima weapon, which would be so sick. Like, if Cloud gets Ultima weapon, like, I'm going to be skinning that thing on everything, so that'd be super cool. Alright, so let's keep going down. We got, for a limited time, 100% reward increase in premium, weapon, and synthesis quests. Alright, so I definitely do the premiums every day. I haven't really farmed anything else in a while now, I'm not going to lie. But if you are looking to farm, this is definitely a good boost. And we have clear all panel missions to get the weapon enhancement materials, a limited wallpaper, which it looks like is Leviathan and Bahamut chasing Tifa on a dolphin. So I'm down for that. That's actually a pretty fun wallpaper. Alright, so let's keep going here. Where are we at? Alright, damage sigils added. I saw someone talking about something like this. So a stream phase update. Destroy damage sigils to inflict major damage. Okay. Oh, interesting. It does look like there is a percent on the sigil break right here. It says 135%. Not exactly sure how this works. Let's see. Destroying damage sigils during a stream phase increases the damage that can be inflicted during an interrupt. Destroying damage sigils does not trigger an interrupt. Instead, as before, an interrupt is only triggered by destroying normal sigils. Interesting. Oh, so damage sigils is going to be a new type of sigil. So we have circle, X, triangle, diamond, and now we have damage sigils that are being added. That's interesting. I'm sure this looks like a triangle to me up here, so I'm not really sure. It also kind of looks like that little hand emoji that is like the heart when you put the 2 hands together. I'm guessing it's not that emoji up there for the sigil, but we'll see. Alright, so that's it. So yeah, we'll leave it to Applebot to give us basically 0 information on stuff when it comes to notices. Alright, now we have a new escalation. This one is actually, I think, is going to be pretty fun. This kind of looks like it's becoming, and sorry guys, I'm still a little bit sick, so if I'm a tad sniffly, I do apologize about that. Alright, so the event escalation challenge, Leviathan and Bahamut on now. Alright, so guys, this is going to be a sick battle. Let's be real. Like, Leviathan and Bahamut together, I feel like this one's going to be really tough, especially for like something like the EX3 if they drop that. So let's see here. As of June 25th, 7 p.m. PDT, the event escalation challenge Leviathan and Bahamut is on now. To unlock, clear the Pirate King's challenge quest for the Lost Treasure, event solo battle, Leviathan and Bahamut EX1. Alright, for this event stages have a battle effect that grants allies physical attack plus 70%. By taking advantage of the battle effect, the challenge will be easier to complete than previous escalation challenges. So I hereby retract my statement with Leviathan and Bahamut is going to be super hard. Apparently it's going to be a lot easier than past escalation challenges. So, but that's not to say, I mean, we'll definitely get the actual summon battle here in the future. Last time with Odin, the escalation challenge came out first, and then Odin came out afterwards. So we might see something like that here with this new double summon. Alright, so let's keep going up. Here we have the Pirate King's Challenge Quest for the Lost Treasure. This looks like a fun event. Like, this looks fun. I like the whole vibe going on here. Plus, it's a Pirate King's Challenge. I mean, we're looking for treasure. It's like pulling at the heartstrings right here. Oh, man. So, for this event stages have a battle effect that grants allies physical attack plus 70% again. Aim to deal heavy damage by equipping physical attack abilities. That's super interesting that they're giving us this massive physical attack boost. I wonder what was the reasoning behind this. Maybe that to help newer players kind of finish these quests. Either way, it's kind of interesting, so I'm curious to see how that goes. So here's the plot. Cloud and his friends find the map of the Pirate King, a legendary sailor who captained a crew of monsters and triumphed in the ancient pirate wars. Sail out to the high seas to search for the hidden treasure marked on his map. Wow, if this was a real life thing, I would be 180,000% there. That sounds freaking fun. And here we have Vincent's new weapon, the Electro Pea Shooter. Sounds very dangerous, guys. Be careful. Alright, the Electro Pea Shooter right here. I hope it actually shoots peas when they fire it. That would be absolutely hilarious. I'm guessing that's not going to be true, but if it does, hats off to Applebot. If it really fires peas, I'm going to be laughing about that. Alright, then we also have Aerith's new weapon featured draw. Okay, oh, thank the gods. Alright, so it doesn't look like it's limited, and I'm basically positive Aerith's costume is the Rebirth swimsuit costume. So that's actually would be really cool. And I think there is a Rebirth kind of rerun going on right now. It looks like there's a lot of stuff, guys. So definitely fun. Wednesday is always like best day of the week, right? Alright, so Aerith new weapon feature draw on now. Alright, so it's not limited. Thankfully, guys. Thankfully. We are getting a new ultimate weapon for Red 13. It looks like this is the collar right here. And we have Aerith's new weapon, which kind of looks like a... oh man, what are those things called? Oh gosh, we eat them at Christmas time. They look like a little U, and they're... oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now on what they are. Oh man. Alright, I'm sure you guys are going to let me know. It's, you know what I'm saying? They're red and they're white. Oh, I can't believe I can't remember right now. It also looks kind of like a parking cone on top of, on top of the weapon. Alright, so let's keep going down here. Also in this draw, an ultimate weapon that can be equipped by Red 13 will be featured. Alright, so let's see here. In this draw, the following new weapon has an increased appearance rate. Okay. Also, you can acquire a swimwear voucher volume 1 on the stamp card for a limited time. Alright, so we can acquire previous swimwear costumes from past summers. Alright, and here we have the Mermaid Rod, command ability 4 ATB cost. The name of the ability is Pink Aura, boosts physical attack and lightning damage for all allies, and restores 7% of caster's healing potency. Alright, so I believe that's our fourth AoE boosting weapon. Correct me if I'm wrong. So now we have lightning as well, which is pretty cool. Alright, Aerith does have a lot of these weapons. I believe she has 3 out of the 4, with Matt having the last one there, which I think was AoE Fire. So let's keep going down. And here we have the costume. Alright, so pink mermaid beachwear. And this is interesting. Alright, so we have a brand new R ability, something we've never seen before in the game. And this is boosts lightning potency all allies. So it boosts all allies' lightning ability damage. That's actually really interesting. That's something to think about for sure. Definitely super powerful. And then we have Pink Flower Pin, which boosts magic defense and boosts healing potency at the same time. So definitely a super solid costume when you are fighting anything that has a lightning weakness. Whether or not it's worth it to go for it now with all the crazy stuff that's on the horizon, you know, is still up in the air, still up for debate. But for now, it's looking pretty cool. And if you're an Aerith fan, like, you're amped right now because I know a lot of people have been waiting for these Rebirth, like, summer costumes. All right, now we have some Reawaken gear. This was Yuffie's summer costume, the Summer Moogle. Does look like it has a boost right here. Boost HP and physical defense, 10 points all the way to 15 points. All right, that's interesting. All right, here we go. New ultimate weapon. I haven't taken a look yet, but this is going to have to be pretty good to compare with Matt's because Matt's was really good, dude. Like, smash out of the park good. All right, so let's see here. All right, ultimate command ability uses 2. Entelestial Echo. Wow, I'm going to have to look that word up. Entelestial. That is... never seen that word before. All right. Grants all allies exploit weakness and restores for 110% of the caster's healing potency. First look, guys, is that I feel like maybe this isn't that great. Unless the exploit weakness buff is better than what we would normally get. I can only imagine that, like, maybe in the future, that, you know, we start to get another buff where you don't want to put exploit weakness on the DPS, and then, you know, this kind of makes up for it. But, like, it has 2 uses. It's an ultimate command ability, and it's giving a buff to damage while also healing. And so the point in which you might want to give the allies exploit weakness might be when they're at full health, right? Or you might need to use this to heal your team, and your whole team has exploit weakness already. So I don't know, guys. I feel like Red 13 got a little bit shafted here. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I'm going to wait until, you know, I talk to some of the players that are a lot better than me at Ever Crisis, you know, because a lot of you guys see things that I don't really see. But am I wrong? Does this feel like pretty bad? Or is it just me, you know? I love Red 13. He's my boy, but I feel like they kind of did him dirty on this. We'll see. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to go look at it. All right. We'll go look at it here in a second. All right. And then we get a new wallpaper here. Beautiful wallpaper with Aerith. And all right. Let's keep going down. I think they might have also added... They might have updated the limit break weapons. I heard that this is happening, that they are going to be... adding new weapons to this. I don't think it's happened yet, but I think it will be soon. Alright, here we go. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth crossover Reawaken draw on now. Alright, interesting. So let's see what we got here. In this draw, the following crossover limited weapons have increased appearance rates. So we have the Guide Gloves for Tifa. Alright. Guys, I've been playing Ever Crisis for a long time, and I will say that non-elemental weapons have basically completely fallen off the bandwagon. So, you know, that's not to say that won't change in the future, right? But, man, I can't even remember the last time that we really needed them for something. So, you know, is what it is. Something to keep in mind. Here we have the Gambuntain. And this one was, you know, okay, I really wanted this costume when it came out, like more so than anything. I think it's one of my favorite Aerith costumes was this costume. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it. Let's go down to the Fafnir rifle, which I have. I'm not going to lie, guys, I've had this at OB3 since it came out, and honestly, it's held up just fine. I've had the, like, what you would call rainbow weapon parts, and I could have taken it to OB6 multiple times. There were battles where I was like, okay, if I feel like I need to take this to OB6, I feel like this weapon's so good, it's absolutely worth it, but I'm going to try and see if I can beat it with OB3, and every single time I've been able to do that. So, you know, this is one of those weapons that actually does kind of hold up pretty well, even below OB6. Surprisingly, great weapon, super great weapon, guys. All right, and then we have Yuffie's Bird of Prey right here, which grants her exploit weakness. Unfortunately, it's limited, which is a little bit of a bummer because you're losing a lot of those R abilities right there for a DPS, and it's also kind of locked into water at the same time, which I was never super fond of, but the weapon itself is super cool. Then we have some Reawakened gear right here. So we have the Guide uniform for Tifa, Hellhound for Red 13, one of the best weapons or costumes for Aerith, which is the lovely Songstress right here. All right. Then we have Dragon King Barbados for Barret, which I absolutely love this costume. No regrets whatsoever for pulling this. This thing is just so strong, guys. And then we have Yuffie's Wutai's Idol here as well. And then it looks like the ultimate weapon for Barret is also on here, which I missed, but I will not be pulling the Rebirth crossover to try and go back and get this. I think, you know, a general rule of thumb for mobile games, guys, is don't look backwards. I've said this before. Don't look backwards. Look to the future. You know, everything that's in the future is better than what we have right now, 99% of it. And so it's better to save your crystals for something that's going to be better rather than going back in time to get something that you might, you know, might not necessarily need, right? Unless you're like close to an OB level or you really love a costume, you know, sometimes like rarely it could be worth it, but most of the time I would say look to the horizon, right? Instead of in your rear view mirror. All right, and I think summons Leviathan and Bahamut arriving soon. Super cool. Double summon Leviathan and Bahamut will arrive now. So we're going to have a boost to water, kind of like the double summon Shiva and Ramu, I'm guessing. But that came with two abilities. It was like ice and lightning boost, right? Or something like that. Yeah, ice and lightning boost. And then so I wonder if there will be two abilities this time. My inclination is that there will only be one because Bahamut is still non-elemental. But I guess we'll have to see. All right, so as of July 2nd, which is next week, Leviathan and Bahamut will be added to summon quests. All right, progress through pact missions to form a pact with Leviathan and Bahamut. So that is super cool, guys. So that's going to basically wrap up the news. Let's go take a look at Red 13's ultimate weapon really quick. All right, I'm pretty sure they haven't... wow, I should probably redeem some of those. Let's keep going down. Mako Gem Exchange, Red 13. All right, level 120. All right, so the exploit weakness is 40%. I can't remember what the max is on the ones that we currently have. So let's go check that really quick. All right, so let's go to weapons. And I guess we'll just sort by... let's go to characters. And Sephiroth has a limited exploit weakness weapon. All right, which is this. Okay, exploit weakness 40%. Okay, so basically it's giving the exact same percent as it normally would on a normal weapon. It does have a high heal. It has Interruption Arcanum, enemy interrupted, and it will boost all allies' ability damage plus 40%, which is definitely pretty hefty. The question is, how long does this last? Once the enemy is erupted, all allies' ability damage 40%, but it does not say how long that this buff is going to last for once you break a sigil, which I think is kind of important here because 40% is nothing to scoff at. It's definitely pretty strong. This is probably the thing I like most about the weapon right now, because as of right now, I mean, everyone has exploit weakness except for Cloud. We know he's going to get one in the future. And then the heal is great. 110% of healing potency is great, guys, but like I just can't help but think like these two things are completely polar, like contrasting opposites for what they do, and I just cannot imagine a point in time where you're going to need to cast the exploit weakness but you're going to waste the heal, or you're going to need to use the heal but you're going to waste the exploit weakness. And then on top of that, it's not like, I mean, you're going to get a 60-second duration, okay, And so basically you get one 60-second cast and then another 60-second cast. So this isn't going to keep exploit weakness on your team for, I mean, this wouldn't even last an entire Guild War battle, and that's 2.5 minutes, and that's a short battle. Considering a long battle, it's not like you're going to be using Red 13 as your main exploit weakness locked into a 2-cast ultimate weapon. It just makes, really no sense here. To me, guys, like I said, I love Red 13, but I just don't really see what they were thinking when they went for this. But then again, I've been wrong, and I have, not seen things before in the past. So maybe there is some, application of this that makes total sense. But as of right now, I'm not personally seeing it. So if you guys are seeing it, share it with me in the comments so that I can catch up with everyone. All right, now let's go take a quick look at the draw. We'll take a look at the costume for Aerith right here. All right, let's click out of that. So let's try it on. All right, there's Aerith. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, that is the actual Rebirth costume, guys. So that's actually really cool that they are putting this in the game. And I'm pretty sure I saw in the little clip of the Pirate Kings event that Tifa will also be getting her Rebirth costume as well. So probably Tifa will come next week. To be honest, I was really looking forward to skipping all of July to prepare for August and September, right, for Dragon Quest, for the 2-year anniversary. And at first I was like, yeah, well, I saw Zach and Angeal's swimsuit costumes, for me, super easy skip. Like, thank you Applebot for this super easy skip. But then dropping the Rebirth costumes into the game, that is a curveball, guys. So that is going to be something like to really think about here. Okay, so let's take a look at the stamp card. All right, here we go. So you got 2 copies on the first page. You get the costume voucher right there. All right, and then the 3 copies on the second page. So a pretty standard stamp card right there overall. And then let's take a quick look at the weapon itself. All right, so at OB1, physical attack, low to low. Low to low, guys. All right, and then we have all right, so we have the healing potency, and then when HP is 70% or more, lightning damage is increased. Also low to low, not even low to mid, guys. Pre-OB6, it's not even low to mid. It's literally just low to low. It's the lowest of the low, guys. All right, we have heal over buff debuff extension, magic attack boost, heal boost, and circle sigil break right there. All right, if we take it to OB6, the physical attack is mid to mid. All right, healing potency 7%, and lightning damage is mid to high. So it is a double cast. We have to see if it changes at OB10 like it did for the Ever Crisis Academy, and it does not. It's still mid to high, mid to high. Oh, the physical attack boost actually does change here. Interesting. And on top of that, it loses the HP 70% threshold. That's something new. All right, so let's talk really quick about, the statuses changing between OB6 and OB10. All right, now this is something we always knew that Applebot was going to do. And to be honest, guys, on a wish listable weapon, I don't really have that big of a problem with it. On limited weapons, yes. In my opinion, don't put this shit on limited weapons. Limited weapons should be the same from OB6 to OB10. I think if Applebot starts to mess with that, with the limited weapons, they're going to really stir the pot in the wrong way. But with a wish listable weapon, this makes more sense, right? We're all slowly taking stuff to OB10 on the wish list, over time. So it makes sense that it gets a little bit of a boost right there. So yeah, this weapon is actually considerably good at OB10. A lot better than the OB6 version, I would say. OB6 right here, the mid to high, that's kind of a bummer. The 70% is okay. It's not the worst, but 70% is, still kind of a tough threshold. 50 is a lot better. And then, the mid to mid on the physical attack, you're double casting right here. It's just like equals pain in the ass, right? So it is nice though that you can wishlist a weapon and eventually get it up to this point. So that is pretty cool. Alright guys, well I just wanted to take a quick look at this. I will be doing a to pull or not to pull video, taking a look at the banner, you know, trying to figure out if it's something that we should be pulling right now. But as of now, this is the patch updates for the day. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm wondering how you guys think. And so yeah, I'm going to conclude the video right here. If you guys enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.